back from vacation, Ed.
Same here.
What's happened over summer?
Well, we got a hint of summer. Let's call it this way. While
In the UK,
most
you
of the
got a
UK
hint
was
of summer.
complaining about 40 degrees, I fortunately lives in a place where um, it's not that hot.
So I'm in Helsinki right now, and it's been consistently above 25 degrees inside. It's so hot, I'm sweating the whole day. I'm not
Wow.
complaining about it though, because I do love warm weather. So I'm happy that we still have close to the end of August as we record this, some warm weather here in Helsinki.
Yeah. So day before yesterday, I went out with my family, and suddenly rain started, and we all got
Okay,
wet.
weather.
Yeah, we all got wet. Like we were not prepared, like all the way from the town center, which is like 10 minutes walk from home. We came home all soaked. So I had my gym shoes, what I was wearing at that time, all soaked up. So yesterday, I wanted to go to the gym and I couldn't go. So I put on my heating on, like in the hot weather, put the heating on to dry my shoes. And my room was like total sauna for an hour and a half. And I enjoyed it.
It was almost like being back at home, right?
Yeah.
All right. But today we're not here to talk about summer. We're here to talk about how to create new products for your business that is already running and generate new income streams. So basically, the holy grail for entrepreneurs, how to scale your income. And I'm going to be the guinea pig here. So Ed's going to coach me through this. So Ed, you take the ball.
Cool. So just to put some groundwork in so people know what to expect, Vasco's business is an online publishing business. So he publishes books and online courses and some other kind of online content like audio programs and stuff like that. Online summits, for example, another one. So it's a digital business, totally managed online. So if you're from brick and mortar business and want to get into digital, this will be relevant. But if not, then it won't be. But generally, it's for people who are interested in publishing their expertise online.
And we are going to dive into that specific business. So the invitation to all of you is to take the parallels, the analogies to apply to your own business.
Exactly. And we want to explore how a mind of a CEO works, which is Vasco here, and also a consultant who's an external person, somebody from outside of the company, help the CEO make some choices.
And that is actually a very important point, because that's what I talk to the people I coach as well, is think like a CEO. You're the CEO of your own personal business, and you need to think like one.
Right. So once again, very quick rundown of what your business is, Vasco, if you would like maybe 1 minute summary of
so
what is your business?
Basically, we are, as you said, we are a digital publishing business. I call myself a content business, but that's what it is. It's digital content. We do have some physical books, but of course the books are also available digitally. So it's books, e-courses. We have 2 yearly summits that have already pretty long history, so 5+ years in the niche we're in. And we have an audience building product, actually 2 audience building products. One is the blog, which everybody should be familiar with. If you're in the digital world and you don't have a blog, well, start one right now. That's the first step. And then, of course, the podcast, which is a little bit more advanced as a technique, but it's something that has worked beautifully for us, both to build community as well as to build audience.
Right. So podcast is your public facing front. This is how you get awareness.
Well, so it's one of the biggest audience building products we have, and I want to focus on that because that's part of our method that we talk about here quite often. So one of the key aspects in how we coach people is that you should have a way to build audience so that you can then sell products to that audience, right? So kind of a parallel would be TV channels build audience, and then the advertisers use that audience to do advertising to them and sell their products. In our case, it's a bit different because we're actually creating content in our niche and selling products to the same niche. So we're building our own audience,
right?
i.e., we are a media organization. So digital content basically means that you become a media organization. We also have consulting, and a lot of the work that we do links to later the consulting work we get. But today we're not going to talk about consulting or how to develop consulting business.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna take a liberty of diving into the future pacing of your business. Where would you like your business to be, so that we can then see where it is right now, what are the gaps, and then we can then dive into the individual gaps that we have that needs to be filled to take your business to what you want to be. So my question to you is, let's say if we were having this discussion a year from now, and everything that could go right, which never happens, but everything that could go right has gone right, and your business, how does it look like? What is the ideal state of your business a year or even 18 months from now?
Yeah, so my goal, which is 1 year goal, is to increase product revenues by 50K. That's 50K euros, since I'm in Europe, so we measure things in euros. These days it's almost the same as dollars. They are about the same foreign exchange rate at the moment. But that's the goal, to add 50K in revenue within the next 12 months.
And 50K in revenue, and this is for the publishing part only, not including the consulting as we discussed,
yeah,
right?
Correct. So we're only talking about the digital content business.
And do you include coaching in your digital content, or you count it again as a separate part of this business?
No, that we count as consulting. It's also delivered digitally and so on, but that's not a product. And I want to emphasize this because I want to increase the revenues as a scaling mechanism, right? So for example, a very simple way to explain is, I do consulting, but I don't want to do consulting for the people that want me to consult with them. I want to do consulting for the people I want to consult with. I want the ability to choose my clients. And in order to do that, I have to have income that allows me to say no, right? And that's what I'm looking for, is content that allows the business to grow as a product business, and also allows us to focus on higher end clients, both in terms of the challenges that they present, as well as in terms of the revenues that they provide.
Yeah, and here I would like to highlight a really good part of your strategy, your particular strategy, which is this. Generally in the market, people say, hey, you should create online products that attract your ideal clients, and then attract your ideal consulting clients as well. But the other strategy that is more the one that you are using is, your ideal clients, consulting clients, have some kind of customers, or even they have a public facing side of their business. If you serve their customers, they automatically trust you more. Even if you don't serve them as in your content directly, but they trust you more because you're doing a better job in serving their customers than they are doing themselves. So it's kind of a indirect approach, but I think it's brilliant. But anyway, let's jump into the product side. So generally, like, even though there are different price ranges of products, generally we can divide the price range in three broad categories. One is like the high ticket or the flagship range of products. The one is the client acquisition, which is basically creating the relationship of first time buyers. So from people who are listening to you, who are subscribing to your newsletter, or who just like are discovering you for the first time, for them to become customers. So usually, strategically, the product that are kept there are lower priced. Now, they don't always have to be, but in this kind of, when we are talking only about the product business, that is the case. And then there's a product line which is in between. So what having these three lines of products help us is ascend from the lower offer, free offer or free content, to an easy no-brainer offer, and from a no-brainer offer to a no-brainer higher offer, and from then on to like, hey, this is the next logical step. I want to go full in. So what percent of this 50K would come from each of these segments? What do you reckon?
So
And of course, it will not be perfect.
I
but
don't have that in mind.
Right.
So do you have a suggestion on what that could be? Because of course, we do have all of those. So we have 3 products. We have what you call the no-brainer, or the entry level is how we call it. Then we have the in-between product line, so mid-range, and then we have the flagship or high price tickets also. But
Right.
we don't necessarily look at a percentage. Now, I mean, I could probably look at the numbers and tell you what it is in practice, but we don't have targets there.
Okay, let's create some. They don't need to be exact, but give a rough idea. So first of all, what is the price range of your lowest price products, the entry level products? Give me a range.
So usually the rule of thumb that we use is 550, 500. So 5 is not exactly 5. It could be something like $10, $7, something like that. And then the 50 is not really 50. It could be 27 or 47 or
Right.
Even 57 or 60.
So basically 10x rule. So 10x, 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 right? Roughly.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It's not like that exactly. So our most expensive product is the subscription to all of our content, which is around $200 US a year. But that is not 10x, because the next level product is 120, so it's just double. But that's the idea, right? Like the rule of thumb is 550, 500.
Right. So 550, 500. So your yearly subscription is 200. Is it correct?
Correct.
Did I hear you correctly? So let's say that 200. Ideally, how many of those subscription can your business handle? And I'm considering the resources of, let's say, support tickets and
there is no hard limit. Of course, at some point the support to those subscriptions will be too much and we need to hire someone. But at the moment, we don't need to hire anyone extra in the business to handle the support needs, like answering questions, refunds, during COVID, putting subscriptions on hold, that also happened, and so on. So like we don't have really an upper limit, because all of our content is self-serve, right? So e-courses are self-serve, and we have videos, and we have audio, we have books, and so we don't really have a hard upper limit on the number of subscriptions.
Perfect. So how about if we reverse the conversions, in the sense that, like, from conversion point of view, every time you increase the price, like, or the product line, you can expect less and less conversions. It doesn't mean less profit, it just means less conversion. So like less conversion could mean more profit than higher conversion. So they're not related directly. So not to be confused there. But let's say there are 3 product lines, X, 10X, and 100X. And if we reverse the conversion on those, so there'll be X conversion, or let's call it Y conversion on the 100X product, 10Y conversion on the 10X product, and 100Y conversion on the X product. So basically the lowest product. So it's just a funnel arrangement where more sales of a lower price products will lead to less sales of a little bit higher price products, and even lesser sales of or 10 times or 100 times, like in sales. I lost you. I cannot hear you. You're mute.
Yeah, so I didn't understand that. So are you saying that
so
if we, like, let's take a concrete example. Let's say if I have a $5 product and I get 100 people to buy it, that means that if I had a $50 product, I would probably get 9 people to buy the $5 and 1 to buy the $50. Is that what you mean?
I may miss something here, but
so I don't understand the
per
point you're
10
making about conversion.
sales of $5 product, you'll make 1 sale of $50 product. So that's what. So it's a 10 times less conversion, right?
Can you repeat, please?
Okay. So for every, as a rule of thumb, for every 10 sales of $5 product, you'll make 1 sale of $50 product.
Okay, I got it.
Right. That's what I mean. So it's the conversions are reversed in the price order. So what I'm trying to come up to is a breakdown of this 50K on these product lines, so that then we can devise the path there. So let's assume 50K will be made of, let's say, 100 sales of an X product, 10 sales of the 10X product, and like 1,000 sales of, no, sorry, the other way around, and one sale of 100K product, something like that, right? So what I'm trying to break down is how many should we consider a sale for $200 product for it to be.
It's funny. So I'm looking at the data. I'm looking at the actual data we have for one of the products. Excuse me. And so there's two prices. So one is the mid-level, so like 50, and the other one is 500. It's actually not. It's like 20 and 200. And it's actually exactly as you say. So we did 180 sales of the $20 product, and for the same audience, we did 17 sales,
right,
of the 200 product. So that's exactly, it's uncanny. It's exactly as you said.
Right. Yeah. And then we talk about the $5 product. So let's just assume it would be another 10 times of 180 sales. So,
so that would mean we would do 1,000 sales. Let me see if that works. So 1,000 sales of the $5 product, which would be 100 sales of the $50 product, which would be 10 sales of the $500. No, that doesn't work. So it would have to be, it's almost like it's like a third. So if we do 4,000 sales of the $5 product, 400 sales of the $50 product, and 40. Yeah, it's a bit less than that. So it's going to be, if I take these numbers, it's going to be something like, wow. So I'm looking at the numbers. I'm trying to make the calculation here. And it's going to be 3,200 sales of the $5 product, 320 of the $50 product, and 32 sales of the $500 product.
Yeah.
That's going to give me around 50K. It's 48K, but it's about the
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and how many you said, the one which is the...
It's 3,200, 320, 320, and then 32.
Yeah, okay, 32. Yeah, so 3,200, 320, and 32. Yeah, that sounds pretty much like the
This is interesting because if I look at the conversion rates that we have for the 5, it's not really 5, it's 7, but you know, it's close enough. If I look at the, let me pull up the stats on the $7 product that we have. I'm going to take about 2 years of sales here so that we can have a kind of an overview of the sales. So I'm looking at the stats for the $7 products, and our conversion rate is I'm just looking at the conversion rate. The conversion rate is 5%. So 5% of the people that come in to that sales page will buy the $7 product.
Well, that's a pretty good, decent conversion rate, I would say, considering the authority business that you're in. People know you, and
Yeah, but
they
that means
trust
I
you.
would need to drive 64,000 people to that page.
Yes, and this is where I'm saying that, like, okay, we need to take a different turn. Getting 3,200 sales is significantly more difficult than getting 32 sales. So what I would say in this scenario is we focus on the $200 sales first. So of course, get the first 32 sales from there on, or even increase it. Like, try to get as many of those $50,000 revenue from these sales, and then reverse engineer it. So basically, bring it up in front and center as your main product, that every other product that you will promote in your business eventually will lead to this one. Now, we don't have to sell these in funnels, in the sense that, like, first we have to sell a lower price product, then a higher price, and the middle price, because if we go that way, then you need 3,200 sales.
What you're saying is that let's not focus on a stepwise conversion. So get somebody to buy the 5, then the 50, then the 500.
Yeah.
But rather try to focus on selling the 500.
Yes, that's correct. And apply the funnel in the reverse order. So build the funnel in reverse order.
So let me look at the, okay, so I got about 5% conversion on the $200 product over the last 2 years as well. So it's also, and this is not an increasing price funnel. It's like, that's the sales page.
Exactly.
It sells only that product. So
right.
That's also about 5%.
So we take that as the front end center of your business. So we make it as the core, like everything that you do. If you're not promoting anything else, then you're promoting that one. So that's like the heart of your business, right?
Yeah. Okay. So but if I look at this, so if the target is 50K and divided by 500, that's 100 sales. That means I would need to do 8 point something. So let's say 8 or 9 sales per month. And if I look at the conversion rate, which is 5%, that means that I need to drive a minimum of 170 people to that page every month.
Right. And that's much more doable than getting, 10 times or 100 times more traffic to the lower price product. So again, I think it's time for us to dig into a little bit on the topics, so that we see if it really aligns with your overall business, or it's maybe just on the sideline, or maybe you may need to create new product. Let's have a look at that. So what is the topic of this particular product?
Okay, so the 200 you're talking about.
Yes, that's correct. So let's call it subscription product.
Yeah, it's the subscription product, exactly.
So what's the topic of your subscription product?
So we work in a specific niche, which is agile product development, and that subscription includes summits, e-courses, books related to this topic.
So it's a library product. So it's basically a library product. So people get access to library of content and all relevant topic to agile product development, right?
Correct.
Perfect. This is great. All you can eat. It's not a transformational product where you walk them through like in a coaching setting and go through it. So this is perfect. And the price point is pretty decent as well. And I would argue that you can easily increase the price point, but let's prove the sale first. Let's get to the first 32 sales and beyond. What are the topics of your, okay, before other topics, your traffic generation strategy is right now is only podcast, or there are more things?
So that's a very good question. You talked about traffic generation, and I expected you to use that because that's your niche, right? Marketing. Right. So we don't call it traffic, we call it audience. And the reason for that is that what matters is not the number of visits to a website. It's the number of people that keep following you over time, right? So if somebody goes and downloads one episode, that doesn't mean anything for us. What we care about is the people who, religiously almost listen to all episodes we generate. And in this case, that's the podcast is the audience generation product that we have. It's a free product, like all audience generation products should be. And we are at about, I would say, like 3,000 daily subscribers and something like around 10,000 weekly or monthly subscribers.
Right. So
and this
10,
is a free product, so they subscribe by just downloading the product regularly.
Right. So when I said traffic, I mean a little bit different from audience, because audience is somebody who already know you, or traffic is somebody how people are discovering you. That's what I mean. So the way people discover you are, from what I understand, is one, podcast, second, your summits. So summits does get some traction, get some new people discovering you for the first time, and then they become your audience. So that's how they are becoming your audience. What's the number one biggest topic that gather you this audience the most?
So the way the product is structured is so that it focuses on a niche. And that niche is actually in the product name. The product is called Scrum Master Toolbox Podcast. And so that means that if you're looking for a podcast in this niche, you will find that because it speaks to you, right? Like it's about me, right? So I want to listen to this. So it's specific on that niche, and it has this aspect of naming the audience in the product. And that's actually one of the tips we give the people we coach, which is it's always better, if at all possible, to have the name of your avatar in your product name.
Right. Yeah. So it just stands out for them. Okay. So the reason I was asking this is to simplify your content, product, and marketing strategy. The root of it lies in, I know that you're using WordPress as your main website. So the WordPress has something called categories and tags. Most people use it like in a really bad way. They put anything there, but what I found is among the best bloggers out there, they have a strategy that works across all other activities like products and funnels and things like that. And the core is this: create, let's say, 1, 2, or 3 pillar topics, which are like within the agile product development, 1, 2, or 3 main pillar topics. So for example, in my business, the 3 pillar topics are create an online course, market and sell online course, or build an online course platform. So these are the 3. Everything else that I create would be, whether they are products, whether my funnels, whether my content, would be within these 3 categories. So what it does, it makes it easy for me to divide and conquer the topic. So considering that you're one person army and as a CEO of the business, then we have to keep an eye on the limited resources that you have and the time that you have in building out your whole business as a funnel, as a content, product, and the funnel. We can only tackle one thing at a time. So which ones to focus on would be one of those, let's say 1, 2, or 3 categories. And now within those categories, every single category will need to have a couple of things. One is flagship post. So one flagship category, one category will have one, or let's call it, some people call it pillar post. So that is, now that could be just a video, that could be a page. I personally would love to see it as like one blog post, which is like a comprehensive, this could be listicle or something, but this is the one that is supposed to be, from the SEO point of view, if you ever do an SEO, it would be the one which will be listed on that topic on Google. Now, from then on, within this post are your flagship or signature pillar, whatever you want to call it, pillar funnel. So per category, at least one funnel per category, and one per product line. Now, in your case, this product line could be all across any other category that you may create. but focus on, let's say, a couple of months in this one category. I cannot hear you.
So let me translate this. So what you mean
Right.
is to have, let's follow that terminology, to have a pillar post that is associated with the product, and there's a funnel for that product starting from the pillar post.
Kind of, but I'm taking it from the content, from the customer perspective first. So that the problems that you solve, let's say, pick up one big problem, and then the product, like the main product that you have, to be associated with that problem. And the way I'm technically suggesting is the category. So you have one category. Let's say become a Scrum Master. I'm just making up here. Become a Scrum Master or professional Scrum Master. And then with that category, Scrum Masters toolbox, you already have a podcast that could act as the pillar post, like, or pillar signature audience building activity there. And then every single content within Scrum Master Toolbox podcast should go to only one funnel that is specific to this category. And that funnel is for that specific product.
So, but that means that I need to look at the products that I have and build categories that are related to that product, or then I need to create a new product.
No, that could work actually. What you said, that you look at the product that you have and build, cluster them in categories, and the less the better. The categories are basically the less categories.
1, 2, or 3. I get that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you can have subcategories, but never more than 3 layers. So like the main layer is the main business topic. The second layer is these categories, and the third layer could be subcategories. But again, the less the better. And it's better to have a product associated with category rather than having a category on its own. What it does, it gives us focus. So every content, every piece that we create naturally feeds in. So it, on a bigger scale, that works as a funnel, as if it's a very focused funnel.
All right. So, but that means that the strategy you're describing, if I translate it to my own words, is create some kind of structure on the website. You call it a pillar or post or category, which goal is to generate traffic. And now I use the word traffic because it really is kind of pointing to SEO and people sharing it on social media and so on. It's not about getting audience, it's about getting traffic. Hopefully it gets audience as well, but it's about getting traffic. And use that as a funnel. Now or use that as the first step of the funnel. So
right.
the obvious choice for me, and I don't know if that's what you had in mind, would be that in the pillar post, I would have a free handout to get people into my email newsletter, and right. Then use the email newsletter as the actual product funnel. Is that what you had in mind?
Yep, that's pretty much. So what I'm going to do, if you allow me to share my screen visually,
go for it.
Draw this, right? So here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So, okay, so this is your website. So I'm taking your website, even though we don't usually talk about your website here, because that's the home base. So, and the effect that I'm expecting out of this is that your audience, whether they're people who are discovering you for the first time, or whether they are people who are already subscribed to your email newsletters and they're listening to your podcast, they will still find same focus. No matter where they are joining us from, they will walk through the same bigger picture funnel rather than one small, tiny landing page based funnel. I mean, those would still fit in here, but let's say on the website, you have category 1. So let's name this category. What is the number 1 topic?
Well, let's call it Coach Your Product Owner.
Right. So these are the people who are coaching product owners, and they acquire skill about or tools and things like tools for effective coaching those product owners. What else? Let's pick 2 more categories.
I'm thinking through the products that we have. Help your team deliver on time.
Sorry, help
your team deliver on time.
Right. And what's the third one? It's optional, but
become a successful Scrum Master.
Right. Right. So we have these 3 categories for now. I mean, of course, there could be more, and you could actually focus on less to begin with. I'll just do some cosmetic work. Right.
This is very useful. I'm already thinking of options, even some short-term options here.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, what I'm talking about in each of these categories, there are. I'm now going to draw only one for now. So pillar post. So
for that category, I actually have several pillar posts, something like 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I also like to call it a resources page. Now, this could be one kind of a Wikipedia type of blog post that links to all the future posts that you create that goes within that category. Now, of course, this technically in WordPress, this is achieved using archive pages, but I don't really like to use archive pages for this purpose, because we can, if we manually put those posts there, list those posts in our resource page or pillar post, we can control the flow and the sequence of those. And that's what I prefer. So all the future content that could be a podcast, your videos and everything that's related to that topic, this category could be listed in this pillar post. So now what it does, it no matter where the traffic is coming from, which channel, which source, eventually they are leading to this page. Now, once they are leading to this page, now as a from the marketing perspective, this page will be
okay. So question.
Yeah. Right.
So I already have 3 pages for that.
Right.
So I could do like a rotating topic where, every month the pillar page changes and there's 3. So every 3 months it starts repeating.
There could be more than one pillar page. So I wouldn't change the pillar pages or anything. I would further think of them as more than one pillar pages for the same category. So it could be more pillar pages.
The category from the main page on the website will only link to one of those, so I would have to
No, it can be more. It's not, one is easier to manage than more than one. So if you're one-man person, technically it's easier for you to manage one, but however, there's nothing stopping you from having more than one. So you can have pillar post is the post which you pay more attention than any other post or any other blog post. And this is the one that you regularly update. So that's why having more will just give you a headache.
Yeah.
Right. So you start with one, and these are for example, these are the posts that every year you keep on updating, and people, as long as they're relevant to that topic. So this is the entry point for people, entry point to your world within this category. You see the point?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can easily link this page, pillar post page, to every single podcast you have, right?
All right. So
within that category.
Let's go through that, because we're getting close to the end here. Let's go through that one category and draw the funnel till the end. And we'll maybe continue in the next video then.
Yeah. So now every category, or let's call it, I would break it down. So even though it's a category funnel, you could also think of it as a pillar post has a pillar funnel. So, but let's keep it simple. One funnel. So one signature funnel. It's going to
be one funnel for sure in any
case.
Yes.
So for you, it's the subscription model. Now that could be one funnel across the website as well. So that could be the main website, the way you want people to remember you as a product, like what product you want everyone to remember you for. Could be that pillar funnel. And that's the one that's converting at 5% right now, right? So that's the one that you will be linking from. Now, every post, small post that goes in, and post by post, I mean your podcast episodes, your videos, and any smaller content, social media posts and stuff, would link back, and that could be just blog post as well, link back to your pillar posts. That's the whole thingy.
Yeah. So basically all the content that I generate every day would, when appropriate, link back to the pillar post.
Yes, perfect. Yes, that's how it is. And also, if it's not linking back, so like there are some things, for example, there could be some blog post that you will publish and you want to use funnel to that. Whenever you have to use funnel, you can use pillar funnel, or pillar post itself will promote the pillar funnel. So you see this thing. So every category, as long as people, this is segmentation basically. Every category, and I don't need to say that every category will have its own customer avatar as well, right? So within that, or range of customer avatar. So within that range of
Actually,
customer
it's the
avatars,
same avatar. It's just different challenges for the same avatar.
even better. so then what happens is this funnel is relevant to all three categories. So
Yeah,
this
correct.
is great.
I mean, to the same avatar, not necessarily to the category. So, for example, for the first category, we have an e-course. It's a very
Right.
extensive e-course and so on, but it's an e-course as
Right.
a product. For the second category, we have a book and a series of videos that
Right.
are just self-standing or independently standing videos. They are not related to each other, and so on. So, like, there's different products for each of the categories.
Yeah. So let's think of it like this, or the other way around. So every category will have at least one pillar product. So we know that, like, okay, when in this category, if the person is segmented in this, the whole segmentation, whether it's via email or via our content here above the water, would lead to that pillar product. So we have pillar product, pillar funnel, and then pillar post, and everything else that you create will just lead people to that pillar post, because that pillar post will eventually lead them to the funnel.
So when I started this coaching session with you, I had a couple of ideas of what we could do. So one would be more books, more summits. That would be more products in general. Then the other idea would be to get more audience, and then we would need to figure out, okay, so where is it coming from? Is it the new avatar, etc.? Another option was the VIP for an existing product.
Right.
So basically creating a higher priced product for the same product family, therefore increasing the average price. But what you just described is actually something much simpler and faster to do, which is to optimize the traffic that is already coming to the website.
Yeah, because I know from having worked with you for some time, and also in this field, we can improvise the price points. We can improvise the packages, different packages and stuff, and we can do it like as we see the data and numbers. This is where we get wrong most of the time. This is like the whole bigger picture, and I myself have been guilty of being there, losing a track of bigger picture and where the products fit in, and all the traffic that we are generating and generate in the future, where does it fit in, which product they will go to, and not being able to decide where to send, like which product to promote to which post, for example. This makes it easy for us.
Here's the thing. So I'm going to try that right away.
Right.
And in the next video, we'll figure out if we have already some data, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do an experiment right now, right after this call, where I will enable the website to show the first category,
right,
which is already pointing to a pillar post, which has a handout that starts a pillar funnel.
Exactly. And you can, for now, you can call this start here, this page, pillar post, start here, and link it in your in the top menu of your website.
Yeah, so, absolutely. That the linking in the top menu was already there, but
right.
The having it as a category wasn't there.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Ed. Okay. We'll continue in the next video with more
Yeah.
details, perhaps even some data already.
Perfect. Awesome.